Hey guys, welcome to Racing Games channel. This was actually mentioned to one of the people I used to, that I trade with all the time. So as you can see, I was one of the lucky guys who got a copy of CS2. I got it day one somehow. But today we're gonna look at all of the Gamma Dopplers in the game. We're gonna have every single knife, every single phase, including emeralds and the Glocks. So you guys ready? We're going to start from the low prices and we're going to go from high. So we're going to start with guts and Glocks. We're going to work our way up to the higher tier shit later on. Alright, let's get started. So I have a few sites open right now. You can probably see I got CSGO Float. That's where I'm getting all my references. I can also probably pop up other sites if we need other knives in the tiers. So let's go. When was this one released? This was released. Quickly making sure I have all the knives in the game accounted for. Okay, so we're gonna start with a Glock Emerald Doppler Phase 1. So Phase 1s aren't particularly popular, but I think they still look pretty good. All these Gamma Dopplers do. This one, for example, this one that we're showing is a pattern 120 with a .03. Looks pretty good to me. It does gleam green at that one little spot. We're gonna start, and then we're gonna go up. This is a gut Phase 1. So I think it'd actually probably make more sense if I went through the phases with every knife at first. Actually, you know what? That's what we're going to do. So we're going to quickly switch this over. And then we're going to look at the Phase 2 Glock. So Phase 2s are considerably more popular. You can tell they look a lot better, although it's got this, like, shit brown, which doesn't look very good. I'm a Phase 3 guy, personally, but I think that if you get a good gun, it does look pretty nice. So I'm trying to go for, mind you, I'm also trying to find non-stickered ones because pattern guns, you want them to look a little nicer. This is a Glock Phase 3. So Glock Phase 3, this one's got a lot more cyan in it. That's the one I prefer usually. Oh, this one's got a green tip to it. This one's also, 000 float. This one's going for $100. Looks pretty good. Let's see here. Let me make sure I get the right one. This is a Phase 4 Glock Gamma. Not a particularly great Phase 4. Phase 4s are known for their light green and light green accents, but I think it looks pretty good nonetheless. This one has a 000 float. Okay, so now let's go to the next knife, which is probably the knife that no one likes. Let me make sure to set these all the lowest price so I can read them right. It'll be easier to identify what knives I need to look at when I know what I'm looking at. So, anyway, if you saw the Glocks, now let's start with the guts. So, I'll bring back this one. This we already saw. This is a Phase 1. It does have a really nice backside to it. It gleams green, looks really nice. Has this good little shine to it. I thought it was a nice one to look at. So now, when we go to Phase 2, there's a lot more Glocks, about 3 or 4 times the amount of Glocks on float. This is a gut Phase 2. This one is a .01, so a pretty good float, all things considered. It's got a little scratch right here, but nothing too crazy. Pretty decent knife for about, oh my god. Because the Dopplers have caught so much in demand, this costs as much as a Falcon Gamma did about a month ago. So that's fun. Then we go to Phase 3. Here is a Phase 3. This one is the lowest one in the world stat track. Unfortunately, it's stat track, but it's a Phase 3 gut, which is what we're looking at today. This one is a 000 float. So it looks pretty damn good. A little bit more green. This is not a particularly fancy one. It's a little light on the cyan as well. It's actually pretty bad. Phase 3, all things considered. And here is a gut 4. Oh, this one doesn't have an image. Give me 1 second. Let me find a gut that does. Should be able to inspect it in game if I look hard enough. That's not what I'm looking for. Let me take a look at the Steam community market as well, just to confirm if we have them around. Got Doppler, Gamma, Doppler, factory new. I luckily have programs that allow me to see what phases we got. Phase 4. Here we go. Here is a phase 4. So phase 4s are known for usually having a lot more lime green. You can see this one has it on the back side, which is actually kind of a piss poor phase 4, all things considered, because all the good green is on the handle. You want it obviously up here. So that's your phase 4 gut. Let me bring this back here. So let's start with the next tier. The next tier is Shadow. And you can see the Shadow Daggers actually got a kind of nice improvement here. Wow, okay. So they did tweak the Gamma Dopplers to look like this. Holy shit. They didn't originally. Hey, Creek A, I got some shit for you, bud. But yeah, that actually looks fucking fantastic. Because even when they're not in the light, they still have this neon green look to them. They look pretty sexy. So that's your phase 1 shadows. Now I need to go to shadow. Factory new, Gamma Doppler. Let me see, that was phase 1 I just showed you. We need a phase 2. Here's your phase 2. A little bit more green. More of an olive green handle color this time around. Here's P3. It's a lot more of a lime green. I do like the differences in the handle colors. It's a nice touch. And then we get a P4, which I think I just saw on the list. Yeah, here's a P4. These are factory new. They have a more yellowish tint to them. If you get them in the sun, they look a little yellowish. And then we flip them around. Nah, they're pretty decent. But Shadow Daggers are low-tier knives, usually. Excuse me as I die over here. So, next knife would be the Bowie. So here is... I am out of order. They don't even have a Bowie phase 1. Okay. Steam community market's kind of coming in clutch, to be honest here. So, Bowie P1. Here's our Bowie P1. It has this, honestly, beautiful green handle. Like an emerald green handle. You might be asking where are the emeralds at. I'll show those at the end. Those are the ones that everybody's waiting for. We got this. It's got a nice green handle. P1. Here's a P2. You're going to notice a pattern that the handles are starting to change to these same colors, like olive green for 2, beautiful like forest green for 1, lime green for 4, or lime green for 3, yellow green for 4. But yeah, here is your P2. Here is your P3. Strange that they went with a lighter green handle for a cyan color. These don't have a lot of green in them. They're known for not having a lot of green, so it's strange seeing a lot of cyan and stuff out of these knives as my Steam market refuses to function. That's wonderful. It probably just crashed. Whatever. And then we have P4 here. This is your P4. For reference, this is a .05, so this is not a particularly fantastic one. But it is still a decent Bowie knife. All the spines also, you might notice, don't have any scratches on them. It looks pretty decent. So, next knife after that would be the Huntsman knife. So this is a P4. So let me swap back to P1. Man, I'm going to have to go to mostly Steam for this. Because no one has got all the phases. So here is a P1. You can notice that the little metal dots, or the rivets that it's using, are now colored, which I think is a very nice touch. This is a P1. You can see it does gleam. Here is a phase 2. Here is a P3. Ooh, I actually really like the amount of cyan on this. Because for reference, you'd be holding it. This is your play side right here. So the cyan would actually be right towards the tip, which means it'd be more towards the side of your screen, which is what I prefer. Huntsman's are big knives, granted, but God, I'm tired. The Huntsman knives are big knives, granted, but I think that I still prefer them. I always have liked Huntsmans. I've always had a place in my heart. And then here you go. Here's the P4. An easy way to identify your phases is either to use a float or like a checker, so you see what exact phase on it. But if you want to make a quick eye on it, if you're using CS2 and you're watching someone play with them, check the rivets or the metal colors. I'm noticing a pattern with a lot of these knives, where the color of that green, if they have them, will be very indicative of your phase. Alright, anyway, next knife. Our next knife will be the flip knife, because this is actually still a decent budget knife. This one has like a full blue play side and actually looks kind of fire. I like that. P1.01. Pretty decent looking knife. $600 for a Falcon? Are you kidding me? Okay. I'll have to go to my favorite friend, Steam Community Market. It's great for inspecting. It is not great to buy. Do not buy off the market. P1 we already showed. Where is our P2? Alright, here's a P2. Nice green blazing. It's got a good green inlay. Pretty good knife. This one is .00 float. We need a P3. This is P3. And we need a P4. Here is our P4. Again, that's not actually a good indicator. Actually, is that a good? No, that's not the green yellowish color. These are actually indicative of the marbleizing. So some of these will actually have different colors in certain spots. Maybe that is. It just looks like it's not, because it's got this like reflective sheen on it. Anyway, P4.03. Alright, so the next blade in our list would probably be, what, the Falcon? I don't want them anymore. Factory new. They are still... Oh, God, they've doubled. This is a P1 Falcon. You can see why I kind of like it. It has that marbleization on the handle as well. Looks really nice. This is a .02. Let's see. Can we get a P2 in this? Here we go. Here is a P2. A very nice P2, actually. This one is .02. Not too crazy, but I think it's actually a pretty decent one. Let's see here. Here is a phase 3. This is my preferred Gamma Doppler, actually. This is my favorite. I really love the Falcon P3s. I think they look really good. This one's kind of an okay example. It's got a decent amount of cyan, but really nice ones. Like, look at all that brightness right there. They do have a nice color. Like, the back side of that is nice. That's just what I prefer. I'm not going to try to manipulate the market and say, oh, these are going to go up in price. To be honest, they all have. Like, any Doppler on the market right now has gone up at least 125% in value. So we're talking double. It's most of these have been doubled. When guts have gone from $110 to $200, then you know there's a problem. But that's just because people are getting excited for CS2, and I'm honestly not helping because I'm making a video about it. But you know what? If it makes people get a genuine guide of what knife they're looking at, then I'm more than happy to provide. But here's a P3 knife. Oh, so this is a P4 Falcon. Okay. Next on the tier. We're actually making it through this pretty quickly. I've already showed the Bowie, I've shown the Shadow, I've shown the Gut, the Flip, the Falcon. There's only a few on the Huntsmans as well. We're actually almost near the end of the list. We got a few more to go. So we're gonna go now to Bayonet, the Vanilla Bayonet. So this is a StatTrak P1, Vanilla Bayonet. This is actually kind of terrible because it's mostly blue. If you're going for blue, then that's sick, but like, not. 00 float, StatTrak, factory new, 16th lowest float in the world. This one is actually for sale. Let's see here. Do we got a P2 Bayo on the website? Of course we don't. That would make things too damn easy. So let's go Bayonet Gamma. So that was a P1 that you just saw. Let me get a P2. P2. Ah. So we got a beautiful phase 2. The backside's really nice, but the backside doesn't matter. Play side's pretty decent. You can see it does gleam as well. We got a P3 Bayonet Doppler, or Gamma Doppler. And then we have a P4 Bayo Gamma Doppler. That's our P4. Okay, next knife. We're actually getting to the high tier shit now. So these are going to be the ones that the high-end traders are going to be looking for. Next blade is going to be my personal favorite knife in the game, the M9 Bayonet. And these give you an idea on just Steam Community Market. I know it's not a fair price for a lot of people, but people who don't do trading a lot will understand this. These are going for starting at $1,700. So here is a 00 float P1 M9 Gamma. If you may notice, this is a huge deal. If any y'all are traders, you'll notice how much little damage there are on the teeth compared to what they used to be. There's far less. Mind you, this is a 00, so that also may help, but the teeth themselves look a lot better. So, we have the M9 Bayonet P1. Let me see if I can get an M9 P2. This is P3. Here is an M9 P2. This is a 0.0 float. 0.0 float. We got a P2 StatTrak here. Beautiful looking blade. This one also, you can see that the teeth aren't mashed up. And this is actually just a 0.0. This is not like a double or 000 float like normal. These are actually pretty low. So, that's a P2. Here is an M9 P3. Unfortunately, this one's minimal wear, so this won't be a great guide, but you could at least get an idea of what they're supposed to look like. But yeah, here's an M9 P3. And here is an M9 P4. Right here. Here's an M9 P4. Unfortunately, this one is factored in. And this one's very beautiful and vibrant. Look at that. Look at that. And that's an M9 P4. Okay, next knife. We're going into flat out high tier now. here is the next blade. We're going with everybody's favorite, the Karambit. We got a P1 Karambit right here. This one's a .07, so this is actually minimal wear. Ugh. But yeah, P1 Karambit, minimal wear. Actually got a deep shade of blue on it. One of my friends bought a P1 that was purposely super blue. And look at that. Alright, so that is a P1 camera. Here is your P... Let me see. The problem is, we're going to go in such a high tier knife that people aren't going to list them on Steam as much anymore. Yeah, there's one for sale, factory new. And it's a P1. Yeah, this is going to make it a little bit more difficult. So the one I got on screen is a P2. Is it a P2? No, it's a P1. No, because the P1 was right here. I just showed a P2. This is a P3. Not a max cyan, but it actually has that green gleam to it. That's our P3. And here's our Kara P4. This one's also minimal. Yeah, this one's actually pretty bad. Decent amount of cyan. Where's our green? It's got like a green ring. It's kind of neat. This looks more like a P3 than a P4. What the hell? Anyway, now we're on the final tier of knife before we go into the gem boys. So let's start with alright, let's get to the one that everybody's been waiting for. Butterfly. Here is the Butterfly P1, and this one's you can obviously tell what phases they are just by the handle. Look at how bright the handle is. They got this deep deep gleam to them. Nice little green tip on this one. This one is a .03. We have the P2 Gamma. Factory new, this one is .01. You can see that the handle is very obvious, kind of like in the lower tier knives with the shadows, where they have this bright green color. And they're very noticeable because there's two types of colors in these. They'll have the metal color, which will be the identifier of the phase, basically. And then you'll have the actual marbleization, like the actual blade itself. Man, who expected me to talk about $20,000 worth of knives whilst tired? Here's P3. This is my favorite. Look at how beautiful that green is. It's this lime green that shines. Then you get the cyan on the blade. This is a beautiful blade. This is genuinely a jaw-droppingly beautiful blade. Although this blade costs $2,500. So there's that. And then you have your P4 Butterfly Factory New. This one is $3,100. .03. You can see that the green is very different color. Clearly different color. Got a beautiful green tip on plate and backside on this one. Pretty decent blade. Alright. That's all of our phases for our knives and our Glock. Now we get to the real ones. We're going to start with a factory new Glock Emerald. This one is a quad flip side 2015 craft. This was actually a really good craft to go with it. I ain't gonna lie. But we'll look at the backside so you can get a better view of it. Beautiful shine to it. And there's your Glock Emerald. Now, so mind you, this is selling for an exuberant amount of money. And then we have the Gut Emerald. Where do we find some Shadow Dagger Emeralds? They aren't actually on this list. So let me go find some Shadow Dagger Emeralds. Wait, that just gave me the wrong set. Inspect Emeralds. That's not the Emerald. Here we go. Inspect Emeralds. So, the Emeralds have this weird kind of greenish color. I should have been using CS2stash.com this entire time. God, I'm an idiot. Anyway, these are 00 float Shadow Emeralds. Alright, so now we go into the better tier emeralds. So we go Shadow. We went from Gut, Shadow. Falcon is next. Oh, sorry, Bowie is next, actually. So let me get us an emerald. This is a Bowie emerald, and this looks really good. Weirdly enough, the emeralds have like this deep, like cyan colored handle. That matches more of the P3 kind of color style than the P3 one, because the P3 one has like a deep, like foresty green color, like a lime greenish color. But here's your Bowie emerald, and then next tier would be the Falcon emerald. Here is your Falcon emerald. I would say this has the most knife to color, like most emerald color to knife. Like the M9 has a lot of handle. The handle in this one actually color matches. I know people hate the Falcon, but I think it's a sick knife. And then we got the Falcon out of the way. Next one is going to be our Huntsman emerald. This is the Huntsman emerald, and you can see the color on these dots are very indicative of the phase you have. Very beautiful color here. Jaw-droppingly colorful. So that's your Huntsman, and then the next one would be your Flip. Here is a Flip emerald. This one is a .01 float. Really clean example. I think they look pretty good. Nice and colorful. Exactly what you want. And then after the Flip, we go to, I think it would be the Bowie. Not the Bowie, the Bayo, my bad. So let's get a Bayo emerald. This is your Bayo emerald. Alright, and then after that, we go to the big boys. We're going to start with the M9. This is, I think, a $7,000 knife, or it may be like 11 now. I'm not sure, but I know it's like either it's high 4 or low 5. I know that for a fact. This particular example is a 00 float, and you can see a lot of the teeth are still intact. So that's our M9. Here comes the $10,000 knife. Here comes a Kara emerald. And then here comes the $20,000 knife that everybody's been waiting for. Here is the Butterfly Emerald. These are exceptionally rare knives for everybody who doesn't know CSGO really well. These are exceptionally rare. You can only find them in, I think, 2 cases. And they are gorgeous, obviously. Look at this knife. But you can notice that the emeralds have kind of a more lame color to the handle metal. So like the metal, if you look down here, you can see that it's a lot more dull compared to, let's just say, a P3, for example, where those have a lot shinier edges on the bottom. But that is it, guys. That is every single Gamma Doppler in the game. That's including Glocks and knives. If you guys like this kind of video, please let me know. I could do a normal Doppler one as well, including all black pearls, all forms of black pearls, including glaciers as well. That would have to be a separate video. Going into black pearls takes a while. But nonetheless, if you guys like this kind of content, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see you next time.